So I came up with quite a simple solution, I think, for water cooling. This is a camping water jug. All I have to do is set it on my workbench, like so. I've got a fitting coming out, which I'm going to mate up to some tubing. I know that if you don't put pressure on it, it will last for years because I have been using it outside for years. So this is going to be connected here. It's going to go to the tube connection over here on the motor. There is an in and an out. The tubing is slightly too large to fit over top. When I slide it over, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun and then put just a regular pipe clamp on it. So I expect that will work. And then coming out of the Siemens motor, it's just going to go into a pail. Even just having the water in there to absorb some of the energy is probably going to be enough for the short test that you saw. But I've learned to be paranoid. It's a very expensive lesson. So I'm passing that on to you. Hook the cooling up, hook your tubing up, monitor your temperatures, monitor all of your connections, make sure nothing's getting hot. If something's getting hot, track it down. Don't try not to make any assumptions about what's wrong, and just look at what's going on, talk to people, figure it out, because electronics is quite expensive to replace, and I don't want anybody getting hurt. I'm trying to do it safely, and I've been told many times when I'm doing this stuff that it's dangerous. Make sure you do this, make sure you do that. I'm trying to incorporate all those things in, and you don't care because it's boring talking stuff. Sort of a silly topic here. I'm just going to be flushing the line here. I've attached the hoses to the motor, and I'm in the process. I'll fill up the water jug with water. Valve open here. And we're just going to get it set up so it doesn't spray all over the equipment. Lift this up. And a little bit of here we have not much of a flow, but there's flow. To the inside. I guess there's nothing coming out, like there's no crud, there's no filings, there's no nothing like that, so I would say as a flush this was successful. But I'm going to lift this up a little bit and see if I can get the flow to increase just a little. If it's going to keep this thing from rolling, but I guess we'll see. Okay, that sounds pretty good. And the flow is pretty good. Okay, we're going to back off and show you the whole scene again. So the water is coming out of this camping water barrel through the tubing into the near end of the motor here. Moving over, comes into this fitting, goes, I'm not sure how far inside, comes out here, follows the gray tube there, and comes into the bucket, and then we have the valve on the bucket so that we can adjust the flow a little bit. And that's pretty much my first cut at water cooling for the Siemens motor. Now, all of these things are rather temporary. I hit this with a heat gun, and you can see the pieces of plastic squeezing out in between the clamp. I'm quite sure that particular connection is not leaking, but there's water on the bottom here, so I think I didn't put enough Teflon tape in there. Well, that's fine. It's a garage, it's not that big a deal. There's a little water dripping. Yeah, that's it, I guess. So this bucket is not empty, and this bucket is almost empty. We'll just close that off, set it down, and just go dump this outside, and bring it back in, continue. Again, I don't know how much water is actually inside the motor, or if that actually matters, if it's a flow rate thing, if it's a just give it something for the aluminum to transfer the heat to. Again, I've never had any problem with the heat in the motor. I hear a noise. Sounds like air is getting into the system somehow. Anyway, if we'll give this a try and see what happens with the heat on the motor. Again, I'm not really sure how I'm going to tell whether this particular change worked or not, but I've got it set up and I can turn it on if I need it.